we want to have control over our government. We want it to be citizen controlled. That's the whole promise of America, and one of the best ways to have a check on government gone amiss is initiative and referendum, where people can put issues on the ballot to make reforms, to decide important issues. And so we work around the country at the state and local level to protect that process where it exists in 26 states, either have initiative or referendum. Most states have initiative and referendum at the local level, and we work to protect that and to expand it to the states or the cities and counties that don't have a way for citizens to directly represent themselves. In America, we believe that the people should rule within constitutional limits, of course. Well, within those limits, it seems to me that we have legislatures to represent us, but when they don't do that, either by not passing needed reforms or by passing things that we don't like, we ought to have the ability through direct democracy to put an issue on the ballot, to put a law that the legislature has passed up for a vote. And yet we spend a lot of time battling in legislatures to protect this process because they are out to do everything they can to make it tougher to use. And that's natural because legislators, unfortunately, like most of us, follow their own self-interest, and certainly they have an interest in the monopoly that legislatures have in passing laws. If citizens can check them, that's great for democracy. That's great for having a government that has the support of the people, but it doesn't make an individual legislator any more powerful. It makes them less powerful because they have to listen to us. We like it that way. They don't always like it that way so much. So citizens in charge, we work to lobby in legislatures and city councils to protect the process, to expand the process. We also put measures on the ballot. In Washington State this November, voters will get a chance to decide on Initiative 517, which does a number of very positive things for the initiative process. It protects petitioners, people who are out circulating petitions, and people who are signing them from harassment. There have been a number of incidents, and this makes it against the law, a misdemeanor, for someone to harass or intimidate, threaten, hit, kick, do anything that would be violent and intimidating to someone who's trying to sign a petition or someone who's circulating a petition. And it also allows, and I think this is probably the most important reform we could have, it allows citizens more time to gather petition signatures. And the reason that is so important is because the shorter the window of time, the more apt you are to have to hire people to get it all done in time. And so it does mean that it's more expensive to qualify an issue, an idea for the ballot in a state in which you have a very narrow window to collect the signatures. In Washington State, it would go from 6 months to a year. And that, we think, will have a very positive impact for especially grassroots organizations that may not have the money to hire petition circulators. The measure also requires that when citizens collect enough signatures to put an issue on the ballot, that it does get voted on, that they can't go to court and block a vote. If there is any part of the measure that's unconstitutional, obviously that will be litigated, but the people get a chance to vote. And the reason that's so important is because oftentimes, whether you pass the law or didn't pass the law, if you can get a vote and get the folks who are running the government, the city council, the state legislature, to consider how the people actually feel at the ballot box, it has a powerful effect. So there have been a number of local initiatives in Washington State that even after they've been struck down, because they were voted on, the city council changed course. There have been other cities where they blocked the vote, and because there's been no vote, the city council has refused to change course. So that's the sort of thing that we think will make the process in Washington State, which is already a good process, much, much better, by giving people more time, allowing more grassroots activity, by protecting people who are in the process and actively petitioning their government, and by giving people a vote and letting the power of democracy provide a way to have the citizens of any given city weigh in a meaningful way. So anyway, that's what we do, and it's a battle across the country in legislatures, but the people in every single state, and we have polled in every single state, the people support this process by 2-to-1, 3-to-1, in some states as much as 7-to-1. And the support for this process happens to be much higher in states that have the process. So it's the kind of thing that the more people are familiar with initiative and referendum, the more they like it.